Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? We're here in sunny Florida. Palm trees and sunshine. Craziness right now. We have dew points in the mid 70s, and for all of my friends up there in the Philadelphia area, uh, kind of getting familiar with dew points again. Anytime you crack 70, that's when you're moving into a tropical air mass. You get into the mid 70s, and it feels lousy. Um, and that's where we are right now in February. We've got 2 points in the 70s here. Hey, Judy, how you doing today? Levittown, PA, in the house. We're talking about highs in the 80s again here in South Florida. This is going to be the 13th day in a row, 13, where West Palm Beach has had highs in the 80s or higher, high of 80 or higher. Just an incredible stretch. Okay, I'm going to make this really quick. This isn't going to be one of my long dungeon segments that goes, 20, 30 minutes. On this YouTube channel, I have the ability to illustrate things. I have the ability to share my screen with you. And there's a whole bunch of things I can do on this platform that I can't do on Facebook Live. Or if I can on Facebook Live, I haven't learned how to do it yet. So what I'm going to start doing every day, Monday through Friday, is just a quick weather update that lasts maybe 5 to 8 minutes. And then when we get into the big weather, then I'll do the live Sours Dungeon segments on the Facebook page. But I just kind of want to get you guys familiar with this platform too. There's a lot of really neat things you can do on this that you just can't do on Facebook Live. Okay, so let's get into it. We're talking about the potential for a huge East Coast storm next week. Like I said in the post on Facebook, there's a lot of moving parts here. There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle. It's a matter of where everything comes together. Somebody on the East Coast is going to get a storm. Is it the Carolinas? Is it the Philadelphia area? Is it the Northeast? Is it Newfoundland? Does everything come together off the coast far enough to where the United States misses out, but maybe the Canadian Maritimes get it? I have no idea right now, but I do know is the storm signal is really, really strong. It's a really good storm signal. Probably the best signal that we've had since the beginning of January. Do you remember that one where for my Philadelphia friends, it was kind of a disappointment for a large area, except for southern areas that had 6 to 12. Hi, you made a Valentine for Daddy? Say hi to everybody. Hi, Paigey. Say hi. Oh, is this for Daddy's?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Okay, you don't have to say hi. Come here. Give your daddy a hug.
No.
You're not gonna give your daddy a hug.
No.
Okay, come on, give me a hug. This is so nice. Thank you.
No.
Oh my goodness, I love you oh so much. Bye bye. Oh my god. Here's what she made her daddy. This is really good. It's really, really good. Oh, that just made my day. Thank you, Paigey. Oh my gosh, I love my Paigey so much. What was I talking about? Okay, let me share my screen with you guys here. I love her so much. She's such a great girl. Okay, right here. Okay. So let me just set this up real quick. Okay, let me show you everything that's kind of, or at least is on the table that has to come together in order to get this big storm. Okay, let me just double check to make sure you guys, yes, okay, you can see it. All right, so what you're looking at here is lower pressures or lower height anomalies with this are in the blues and it's like a greenish color, I guess. Higher height anomalies are in the oranges and the reds, or in other words, higher pressures, lower pressures, higher pressures, reds and oranges, lower pressures, blues and greens. All right, so watch what happens when I set this in motion, which, by the way, if you can see where New Jersey is, you guys see that big, if you look towards the right, you see that big blob of orange. New Jersey, Pennsylvania, that's where you are situated. This is right around now, actually. West Coast, this is where you got all the blue. Now, this is important. The blue is going to start to kick out of the plains and push east. All right, right here. Now, as we head into this upcoming weekend, you got another storm that you have to deal with on the East Coast. It's rain. All right, as a matter of fact, the rain snow line is going to be pretty far. You might get something on the front end, some kind of wintry mess. I call it a slop storm, where you get maybe, I don't know, maybe you get an hour or two of sleet and snow and freezing rain, and then it all goes over to rain. It's one of those slop storms. And the rain snow line actually lives pretty far north up into New England. But while that's going on, notice how the blues will start to kick out right here. See them kicking out of the Rockies? This is important because if you look a little bit farther to the left, You see the oranges starting to run up the west coast there? All right, you're setting up the ridge, the west coast ridge, the Alaskan ridge, and you're putting the lower pressures on the east coast right here. What's another thing you notice? Look towards the top of your screen. You see the deep reds there, and it's almost like a whitish color starting to show up. That's the Greenland block. So what you're doing here is your pressures are falling on the east coast. Your pressures are rising up above, right there around the Arctic Circle. All right, so now you've got the ridge on the west coast. You've got the Greenland block above. The two are kind of merging together. And that'll do two things. One, it's going to drop the polar vortex down into the lower 48. By the way, once the storm comes and goes next week, it's going to get really, really cold again, like January stuff. All right, so be ready for that. That's going to get pretty nasty. Two, it's also going to bring true Arctic air into this storm. And again, it just depends on where all of this comes together. Why is true Arctic air important? True Arctic air is important for a couple of reasons. One, because it produces huge snowfall ratios, huge. And it also produces high snowfall rates. So let me give you an example. A regular snowstorm, let's say temperatures were near 30 degrees. A regular snowstorm is a 10-to-1 snow ratio. 1 inch of liquid is equivalent to 10 inches of snow. You start putting this true Arctic air into a storm, you start injecting it from the northwest like this. Now all of a sudden that ratio isn't 10-to-1. Now it's 15-to-1, 20-to-1, in some cases maybe 25-to-1. So that same inch of liquid, which originally brought 10 inches of snow, now it could bring 20 or even 25 inches of snow. It piles up really, really quickly when you start putting in true Arctic air. So that's the importance of what's going on with that orange thing up top there. Now, if you look towards the left, you see the four corner states. Watch the blue come out. So now you've got the block over the top. You're dislodging the polar vortex. It's going to start dropping south. Boom, here comes your storm on the 19th and the 20th. You see this blue blob rolling across the plains. There it is, right there, pushing through. Okay, that's it. It's as simple as that. There it is. Okay, now let me show you this real quick. Here's a look at some of the Arctic air that's in place, and there's a lot of it, a lot of it. This has been, it's funny. One of the jokes in the Philadelphia area has been, Chris, ever since you moved to South Florida, all it does is snow around here anymore, and it's bitter cold. And everyone's telling me to move back, and I'm like, okay, do you guys want me to move back because you miss me, or do you want me to move back because as soon as I move back, it'll stop snowing? But it's the truth. The second we got down here, and I knew it. Lori and I said this. The second we got down here, I knew it was going to be a winter for the ages up there in the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. Always happens that way, right? It hadn't snowed in how long in the Philadelphia area, like a good storm? I come down here to track hurricanes and severe weather, and now you guys are getting a memorable snow. Unbelievable, or memorable winter, I should say. Okay, this is a look at temperature anomalies. What we're using here to show you this, I'm not even looking at the GFS. I just don't like that model right now. It's been terrible. So I'm looking at the European ensemble data right here, and I'm going to set this in motion for you. What you're looking at is an anomaly where you see that big, it almost looks like, what the heck was the name of that dinosaur? Barney. You remember that big purple dinosaur? That's out there across the west. You see that? That's really, really, really cold air out there compared to what the seasonal average is. So you can see what's going to happen here. Now, you guys on the East Coast, you're going to warm up, okay, the next couple of days. But then watch this cold just expand east. Remember, we were talking about the block going over the top and dislodging the polar vortex. Here's the 15th. Here's the 16th. Look at the cold. You see it kind of pushing right through the plains? See Barney there? That's the 17th. Look at it. Just kind of sitting there waiting. See it? Now we're on the 18th. Greens, blues, that is all. The whole country, with the exception of New Mexico, is below normal by the 18th and the 19th. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's looking like January all over again with this. Here it comes. Huge temperature anomalies. Huge. There's the 19th. Now, look, look at that thing was all the way in Mexico there. And now it's pushing east. It's true Arctic air. So again, you start getting... You got Daddy another Valentine?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's a funny guy.
It's a funny guy? What's his name? What's his name? Just funny guy?
Yeah.
Duh, Daddy, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can you go get the bear that I got you for Valentine's Day? You can show everybody your wonderful bear?
No.
No? Okay. Well, maybe you'll change your mind in a minute or two. Okay. No. She's so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there it is. That's all the Arctic air. Now we were talking about pieces of the puzzle coming together. So let me show you exactly what I mean by that. Okay, and all right, if you look towards the left-hand part of your screen, you got almost what I want you to focus on. You see the two areas where you've got some yellows and reds coming together. One's right on the U.S.-Canadian border, and one is right there in northern Texas. These are upper-level pieces of energy. There's a little more to it. This is a vorticity graphic, but for argument's sake, let's just call it pieces of energy. It's kind of easier that way to understand. Now, the key, when I say the pieces of the puzzle are coming together, the key is where. Where do these come together? All right, you see that right here? Right there. Boom. Now, let me refresh this. I don't have enough data out on this one. There we go. Right there. There's the 18th. Okay, now here they are. See them right there? They're going to come out of the plains. Now you see how one piece of it is kind of out in front of the other. Look towards the bottom. You see the Carolinas. You see how you got that little piece going off the coast and then that deep red right there to the Great Lakes states. Everything comes together on this run, but it comes together a little late in the game. Maybe soon enough to give you a good snow in the mid-Atlantic, but it doesn't come together perfectly until it's a couple hundred miles off the coast. So the significance there is, for example, maybe you get, and again, these are all hypotheticals here. We're 7 days out. All of this is going to change, but I'm kind of giving you an example of what has to happen. So everything comes together on this run about a couple hundred miles off the coast. The significance there is maybe parts of the Philadelphia area get a 3 to 6, 6 to 8 type snow, whereas New England gets a foot to 2 feet. Okay, that's the difference. Here's a look at the GFS model. All right, let's take this one. Same thing. You see the two pieces of energy here? Watch what happens. All right, see the front runner right there across the Carolinas? Notice how the upper level energy, the second piece is hanging back across the Great Lakes. They come together there. They're a little bit off they're up in New England at that point when they're coming together. And so here's what happens, okay? Here comes the storm breaking out. All right? See it? Now, this model run, this was the model run that came out last night. This model run has everything coming together right there, okay, right across the Carolinas. Look at the snow. Look at this. Massive. Now, at that point, all right, at this point here, if everything comes together exactly where it needs to be, you've got blizzard conditions for Philadelphia, New Jersey, New England, the Poconos, the Catskills. New York City could be looking at it. You've probably got 30 to 40 mile an hour winds here. You probably have snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches an hour. Easy. There could be heavier amounts with this. And you've got temperatures probably in the teens to low 20s inland and maybe mid 20s to upper 20s right on the coast. It's nasty. If it all comes together just right, that's what you're looking at. Okay, so now let me give you an example here. That was last night's run. This here is this morning's run. Okay. Last night, all right, just so you guys know, last night was the perfect storm. It was the perfect snowstorm on the model runs for the Philadelphia area. This is what the model's doing today. And again, you expect to see these things change a little bit. Okay. It's going to do that. We're 7 days out. They really start honing in when we get to 4 days out and 3 days out. Then it all seems to start becoming a lot more consistent. But here we go. So I'll show you this one real quick. Set it in motion. There's a button right there. Here's what this morning's run is showing. Okay, notice how it is a much weaker storm. Remember, I just showed you how all the energy comes off the coast a couple hundred miles. See the difference there? You got some snow, okay? But boom, here, right there. See where it's all coming together? Look at that right there. It's the Cape. The Cape's getting hammered at that point. Big winds, heavy snowfall rates. That's where everything comes together right there. Okay. And so here's your difference. See it? That's what the new model run shows. It shows New England with the 10 to 20 inch snow. It's got that little strip right there in southern New Jersey. It includes Philly, though, where maybe you get a 6 to 8. But watch this. All right. Remember the previous run. This is what the previous run showed when everything came together just right. See it? See that? You're talking phenomenal snowfall totals. Phenomenal. It's got 40 inches plus across upstate New York. And look what's going on here across the Philadelphia area. It's got it only has like a 3 to 6 in southern New Jersey because I think it's factoring in a mix at some point. Um, but look at the numbers. I mean, it's got darn near 20 inches in Allentown. It has more than 20 in the Poconos. It has 19 in Harrisburg. It's got between 10 and 20 across the far western counties. I mean, it just it shows that is your perfect setup when everything comes together across the Carolinas and comes up. When everything comes together just a little later in the game off the coast, like this latest run shows, that's what you're looking at right there. Now, there's another scenario. Again, none of this is etched in stone. It's just what we're looking at right now. It's all something we're monitoring. If everything comes together a little bit farther to the south, then maybe it misses us all together. And the other thing is too, if we get into a situation where nothing comes together and it's just one piece pushes through and then the other one comes in behind it and then there might be a third piece kind of straggling behind that one that comes through, then you're probably looking at maybe you get a 1 to 3 inch snow here. Maybe the second round comes in, you pick up an inch there. Maybe the third round comes in and you get a few squalls. So again, all of this has to come together, but the potential is there for a big, big walloping with this. This is the best signal that I've seen all winter long. And the one in January, early January, that disappointed so many of you because really it was the far southern areas, Delmarva of all places, DC, Baltimore, those areas that just got creamed with the snow. The storm actually hit. It just didn't hit Philadelphia with the heaviest. Okay. That was a really good signal. This one looks better. So we'll see. Okay. All right. I said I was going to be on here 5 to 8 minutes, and it's like 18 minutes now. I never can keep these 5 to 8 minutes. All right. I am going to say goodbye. I actually got to get ready for work. I'm doing the evening shows tonight. But what I'll do is I'll post this on my Facebook page. If you haven't already done so, please go to my YouTube channel. You're here now. Hit the subscribe button. You'll get all my updates. And I will continue to post on Facebook too. I'll try to do a dungeon segment at some point over the weekend to get you caught up with this. If I don't get a chance to do that, I will have another one of these. I call these weather quickies. I'll have another one of these posted tomorrow on my YouTube channel. Take care, everybody. Glad you got your snow the other day. Now you're going to get some rain, kind of wash everything away, but you need the rain too. Take care, guys, and have a great weekend.